Hello, Nandipha Mntambo.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good, good. So where are we finding you? Tell us a little bit about where you're at and how you're
Well,
doing.
well, we're in day 43, I think,
Wow.
of our lockdown.
Hmm.
So, a bit intense, an interesting sort of situation to be in. I suppose, like everyone else in the world, is finding themselves trying to figure out um, what next, I suppose.
Yeah.
Uh, because before the lockdown happened for us, I was in Switzerland on a residency, and I kind of had to rush home, and it's been interesting being back. I mean, luckily, I built my studio in my backyard, so
Yeah.
I don't really have to go very far.
Hmm.
So, feeling kind of interestingly blessed and cursed at the same time, because not having an excuse to not make work is
Yeah.
is one thing, but then at the same time, not being able to get certain materials is another
Yeah.
sort of concern. Well, I usually work in cowhide, and I make large scale paintings and printmaking and performance. So a lot of kind of physical stuff, and chemical based things.
Hmm.
But I guess, going to art school, bronze and stone are materials that have quite a historical sort of gravitas in a way.
Hmm.
So bronze is one of the materials that I work in as well.
Hmm.
So right now we're looking at a work called Ophelia that I made a couple of years ago. And I suppose I'm showing it because I'm feeling not necessarily sad, but uh, just a moment of confusion
Yeah.
around what's happening and how to move forward.
Yeah.
I use myself, or at least mannequins of myself,
Hmm.
as the sort of starting point of my work. And I tan all my cowhide myself in my backyard.
Hmm.
So, kind of making these life size, hairy women
Hmm.
in a way.
Hmm.
And I work in painting as well. So, just making these very dark shapes um, that I think for me are about a kind of simplifying of the body in a way. So, these
Hmm.
organic shapes that represent the body. A lot of it is centered around, I guess, looking at oneself, looking at my body, understanding or trying to understand the difference or the kind of binary opposition of male versus female, animal versus
Hmm.
human,
Hmm.
attraction and repulsion,
Hmm.
and how sometimes you don't really know which side of the fence you're on, because
Right.
something that repulses you can equally totally attract you. So, trying to understand that very, very thin line that exists between things that seem to be opposites. The sort of interesting thing for me is that human beings, I think for centuries, have tried to kind of separate ourselves from the very animalistic element
Yeah.
of who we are or
Yeah.
how we function.
Yeah.
And I think that we've also tried to somehow make ourselves feel like we're above nature.
Yeah.
And in some respects, perhaps we've succeeded in that. But at the end of the day, I think we've always somehow been shown that nature, um, I think, is more powerful, and also just that weird animalistic element of being able to kill is something that's also quite powerful.
Yeah.
So it's either we're killing each other or nature kind of steps in and does it for us.
Yeah.
And now we're all in a situation where, regardless of where you are from, regardless of what age you are,
Yeah.
regardless of what religion you are, we're all experiencing the same thing. Yeah.
So how do you get
So
your materials? Where do you get it from?
I have made friends with people
Mm.
who abattoir.
Yeah.
So South Africa, a lot of people who are farmers or even own abattoirs are like old Afrikaans guys.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm kind of infiltrating this space where
Hmm.
I'm just this like young black woman who doesn't really know anything about the breeding of the animals, but
Mm-hmm.
are so interested in the material.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and half of them have no idea. They're just like, what do you do with this? What's going on? So really having these interesting conversations with people that I wouldn't have necessarily met
Right.
on the everyday, and having them ask questions about what exactly it is I do and why has been fun.
Fine. So what have you been doing during
I've
quarantine?
been making watercolors,
Oh, really?
actually, something that I didn't ever really kind of do ever. And just trying to find a kind of light, easy language
Mm-hmm.
of working in this material. And so within these watercolors, what I'm finding interesting is that the very kind of abstract shape of things, whether
Mm-hmm.
it be your shoulder or your breast or your stomach or even your nose, is what really attracts me. So the simplification of the human form, but
Mm-hmm.
also looking at it as a landscape in a
Mm-hmm.
way, is what has interested me in my painting work and in my
Yeah.
printmaking. So right now, the series of watercolors has become a family portrait in a weird way. So thinking around, I think, the past, and the situation that I'm in right now, and an imagined future, I guess. Now this is a space for me to reconfigure and figure out where I want to be and how I want to be working, and possibly what it all means at the end of the day.
That's wonderful. What does it mean?
I don't know.
We're trying to
I
find
don't,
out.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet.
Well, maybe we'll find out soon enough.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank
Um,
you as well.